Rev up your engines. Okay, we got a 99 Camry here, but he made a big mistake, which actually led to making it a safer car. Years ago, he changed the exhaust system out. When he was working on the exhaust, he had the radio on, so it had power. And when he cut the wire to the oxygen sensor, because he was going to grab the wires and then feed it through to put new ones on, it had power. When he went to start the car, it wouldn't start, and he thought, oh man, what did I do wrong? So luckily, when he took the fuse panel off inside, he found that he had a blown fuel pump fuse. He was lucky. And so what he did, these are special fuses. What they do is, when they're blown, they light up to show you they're blown. And if you don't know much about cars, you might want to put those fuses in. Then instead of thinking, gee, is it good, is it bad? You can just open it up, and if any of them are lit up, you know, the fuse is blown, and you can replace it. Now, he got lucky. They could have fed back and blown his ECU and ruined the computer. That fuse did its job. It popped the fuse, because the fuel pump and the oxygen sensors, they work on the same circuit. So, it was lucky that it popped it when he cut those wires. Now, if he would have just removed the battery terminal before he did the work, nothing would have happened. So, if you're ever doing any kind of work on any kind of wiring in a car, learn from this man's mistake. Disconnect the battery first. If you really want to be safe, take the power one off. Then there's no power anywhere in case you ground something, because if you take the ground off and then you ground something to the battery, it'll have power. But if the power's off, you can't. So you can take the power line off and you're not going to get any damage done. Now, interestingly enough, this is not a Japanese Camry. As we can see on the door, this baby was made in Kentucky. The Kentucky boys made it. And I have to say, they did a really good job. This thing's old, right? Look at the paint. The paint is still good, even though this baby's lived its life in Rhode Island, where they use a lot of salt. But yes, it did rot the exhaust system off. You know, my 94 Celica still has the original exhaust on it, but he was smart. He put a stainless steel exhaust on it. So now he's gonna have to worry about it. But I do have to say, it lived in the salty Rhode Island, salt on the ocean water, salt on the roads when it snows. Check it out, the rocker panels are still solid. The frame is so solid, even though it's been up north. Toyota has been making corrosion-resistant bodies for a long time, even back in 1999. Heck, my 94 Celica doesn't have rust on it either. They know what they're doing when they use zinc primer, put it on, they do a good job on it. Now, the oddball thing is, some of those Tacomas and Tundras did have frames that rotted. I don't know what they did wrong there, because the other cars don't. But some of those Tacomas and Tundras, the frames rotted on. Somehow they screwed up on the trucks, but not the cars. Usually it's the other way around. Usually the trucks are stronger made than the cars, but in the case of Toyota, it was the opposite. The cars were made stronger than the trucks were. Now, he bought this thing used for $4 grand with 82,000 miles. We'll see what it has on now. No, we won't. We gotta push more buttons. And as we can see, it's got 143,321 miles on it. What does the engine sound like? Gee, it's a Toyota. It starts right up. Listen to that 4-cylinder engine. It's still running like a clock. Although he hasn't finished with the exhaust. He's got a donut leak there. So it's a racing Camry. And it's an old one, so it's got a timing belt on it. Inside here, this is a non-interference engine. If that belt breaks, it does no damage at all. You just strand it and you gotta put a new belt on. It doesn't hurt anything. Now, yes, the seats do wear out, so he put on this little racing seat cover, but just because he's sitting on it. Look at the other seats. They're still in really good shape. The owner just told me the seat isn't worn out. Is he lying? No, he's not lying. It's not worn out. Gee, I thought I was cheap. He doesn't want to wear the seat out. He's like those Japanese dudes that take their t-shirt off and then put it over the seat because they don't want to get the seat dirty because they're planning on selling it and buying another one in a year or two. But he's not planning on selling this thing. He's just plain crazy. This is Rhode Island. It gets cold. The heated side view mirrors still work. Yes, they still work. Now you might think, old guy with an old tech car, well, watch this. He's even got a high-tech sweater. Check it out. He's warming himself up with his heated sweater. It cools too. He's slowly but surely modernizing his car too. He put LED lights on it. He went down south and he got a spare set of rims that are exactly the same to put his snow tires on in the winter, so he doesn't have to deal with taking tires off, rebalance them. And for those of you fanatics who say, oh man, I gotta have all-wheel drive for the snow, hey, it snows here. He never got stuck. He put snow tires on the front only. Works perfectly fine. The engine, the transmission, it's all in the front. It's front-wheel drive. You don't need all-wheel drive. You just need to know how to drive. But if you don't know how to drive, go ahead, get all-wheel drive, get 4 snow tires, spend all kinds of money. This thing's never got stuck, perfectly good enough. But it is a good idea to get a set of spare rims, have your snow tires put on and permanently store them in your garage. Then you can do it yourself and not have to deal with other people. We all hate dealing with other people. That's why I became a mechanic in the first place, because I didn't trust anybody to fix my car. They were all crooks, even back in the 1960s. So, well, I'll take that back. My grandfather, who I learned from, was not a crook, but my father was always yelling at him because he didn't charge people enough money. Plus, I had a German car and he refused to work on German cars. He wouldn't mess with my English motorcycle either, but hey, I did that myself. By then, I had learned. So let's take it for a ride, see what this old baby can still do. Now here we are in a bumpy Rhode Island road, and let's see how this thing rides. You know, it's still pretty smooth, even on this old bumpy road, tell you the truth. And as we corner, it still corners pretty good. And it's got reasonable acceleration. Their 4-cylinder engines have enough power to them. And it may be a 99, but it still has minimal road noise. He's modernized like his sweater. That is not the factory setting, that's a Kenwood, which works perfectly fine, fits right in. It's all Bluetooth, and you can see he's got this faux carbon fiber they put. It makes it look nice. There's a lot of aftermarket for Camrys. It's not expensive, a lot of stuff's out there. You can fool around with it, but look, they used to make things better. Look at the dash! It's not even cracked. That is amazing. It's a 99 after all. And the transmission shifts like a dream. These automatics work great. This was before the day of 8, 9, 10 speed transmissions. The old ones, yeah, you're gonna get 3-4 miles a gallon worse gas mileage in this, but they're gonna last forever. You get a lot of gasoline for a $5,000 transmission job, let me tell you. So what have we learned today? We learned if you're working on your car's electrical system, please disconnect the battery. Then if you're worried about problems with your electrical system, get those cute little fuses that when they blow, they light up. All you gotta do is pop it off. You see they're lit up, you know, that fuse is blown. Now we also learned these Toyota Camrys can run forever, even the ones made in Kentucky. I used to have a Toyota Camry station wagon that was made in Kentucky. And oddly enough, I paid the same price he paid for his. We drove it for years. My sons learned how to drive on it. Then we sold it to a girl who was moving to California and working in the Peace Corps. I don't know what happened to it after that, but man, that thing just ran and ran and ran. It had the same exact 4-cylinder engine in it. Now, as a parting shot, he did go high tech. He has GPS in this car now, and here it is, right there. He travels by compass. He just gets his bearing like in a ship and follows it down the road. So here we have a happy man. I talked him into buying one indirectly. He watched my videos and he's really happy with this car. He's playing around with it and he says it's going to be the last car he ever has. And I'd say he's got, I don't know, at least 30 years left in him. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Abdersi at Gmail says, Scotty, I got a Mazda 6 2005, which has a weird vibration after I drive it 30 minutes. I called the mechanic and he said the code showed misfires. It's only doing it after 30 minutes of driving and it's showing misfires. Sad but true. It's an 05, so you know it's 17 years old. Odds are your engine's probably shot. Once it warms up, if it starts misfiring, the engine gets worn inside, the head gasket starts blowing pressure out, you start getting misfires, and then when it cools down it runs okay until it gets hotter again. I see that all the time. Now pray that it's something else. If it's a bunch of misfires after it runs a while, pray maybe something's gone wrong with the ignition system, and when it heats up, it stops working. But from my experience to those things, it's usually the engine going out. But when it starts misfiring, let the mechanic have it, let him check it out, pray that maybe ignition coils are going bad, and when they heat up, they start misfiring. That's a much cheaper fix. Always look at the cheaper fixes first. But you're going to have to let the mechanic have it. He said 30 minutes drive, and tell him to let it run for 30 minutes. So when it starts messing out, he should be able to figure out what the cause is. Pray it's something like ignition coils and not the engine going out. But in those, often it's the engine starting to go out. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.